Well, hello again, all my YouTubers. Welcome back to my world of classic dirt bikes. Now, in this featured video, we're going to take a look at Paul Toulouse's 1982 250 Husqvarna. Now, Paul has been a dirt bike addict for as long as he can remember, and when he saw an ad on a local internet website advertising a complete 1982 Husqvarna 250 for sale, albeit it was still in plastic boxes, he was immediately on the phone to the seller. Now, this particular model has some sentimental value for Paul's family, as Paul's late father, who was also a dirt bike devotee, owned a similar machine to this that he used to race at local off-road events. Now, Paul thought that this would be a fitting tribute to his father if he could pull off this very unique restoration and bring back some long-lost childhood memories into the bargain. Now, the original owner of this bike told Paul that the bike had seized up on him at a race event and that he had taken the machine apart with the original intention of rebuilding it. But as these things sometimes turn out, the remains of the bike lay in the back of the person's garage for almost 20 years in plastic boxes awaiting refurbishment. Now, Paul is no stranger to wielding a spanner or two, although this was his very first time of restoring anything, let alone a classic dirt bike. So he wanted the job done right, so he decided to entrust the mechanicals to an expert and drove the few hundred miles south to Rod Spry's engineering workshop in the Rosendale Valley in the UK, where the Husky's power plant would almost certainly receive the best of mechanical attention. Now, while the engine was away getting its refurbishment, the bike's frame was still in good condition despite its age, and so Paul decided that he would renovate this piece of the project on his own and promptly began sandblasting and painting the frame in this lovely Husqvarna silver. The fork legs were also refurbished using brand new internal rebound springs, new oil and brand new seals, and then finished off by being re-chromed. Paul says that they look like brand new when they were first fitted to the bike. Paul also opted to go down the route of not fitting genuine Husky mudguards to his project, purely because they were far too expensive, and that these Acerbis plastics he chose fitted better and looked just about right on the bike. Now, when the frame was completed, it was all systems go with the remainder of the bike's construction. Now, the seat and the tank were the surprising things about the whole bike, as they were still in remarkably good condition despite them being stuck in the corner of a garage for all those years. So a new seat cover was sourced and refitted to the original base, and then the gas tank was given a quick freshen up with brand new paint, a new petrol tap and a brand new filler. And the rear shocks were then stripped down, rebuilt, refurbished, regassed, and the springs are repainted and then fitted back to this lovely Husqvarna chassis. Now, the rear wheels are the original Husqvarna wheels that came with the bike, which were just refurbished and respoked with brand new stainless steel spokes. Now, of course, many of the other original parts required to finish this project Paul sourced from HVA Factory, the classic Husqvarna dirt bike parts suppliers right here in the UK. Now, of course, the Husqvarna purists will already have noticed that the barrel on these 1982 250s was not black back in the day, although it was, I think it was silver if my memory serves me correctly, but nevertheless it's still a fantastic restoration for a first time attempt at rebuilding a classic dirt bike. Now, while Rod Spry was stripping the engine for a rebuild, he contacted Paul to say that the actual motor was in surprisingly good condition, apart from the barrel, which had a few fins cracked and was not in the best of health. So Rod decided that to make things right, he would source a replacement, and then he promptly rebored it and finished it off with a brand new piston and rings, and then painted the whole motor in this beautiful black stove enamel. Now, this project had taken Paul almost a full year to bring to fruition, and those long nights in the garage to the wee small hours of the morning were now just beginning to pay dividends. With this being his first ever restoration project, Paul wanted to make sure that it was completed to a very high standard, as Paul's late father was a precision gunsmith to trade, and he always taught him to never do things by half and always make sure that when you do any kind of engineering work that it is always 100% correct. Considering that originally this machine was just a pile of classic dirt bike parts in plastic boxes, you have to admit Paul has made an absolutely superb job of this very nice and beautiful 1982 250 Husqvarna. This video was brought to you in association with VMX Magazine, the world's #1 publication for all your classic and vintage dirt bike motorcycles.